Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partner with Robert Miller & Son Furniture of Kokomo. My name is Drew Larison.
It is.
This is MTM.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Mayor, how are you?
I'm great. Great. This is the week.
This is the week?
This is the week the grandson shows up.
Oh.
My daughter's due this week. So her official
What
due
a
date's
week.
on Friday, but they think that Wednesday will be when she checks in, and if she hasn't delivered by then, they'll induce and hurry the process along. So
Love that.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Grandpa Mayor.
Grandpa Mayor. I'm excited.
You should be. I hope
It is.
everything goes well.
Me too.
Everything's great. What a great week, because it's Strawberry Fest week.
Right? I know.
What a week to be the mayor of
Celebrate.
Kokomo. Does it get better than that?
I don't think so.
Goodness.
I don't think so. I'm the envy of every mayor in the state of Indiana this week.
I love it. Yeah. Strawberry Fest is
think.
this week on Friday. We were just talking. I don't want to talk too much out there, but the weather's looking dicey. But it is
Yeah.
Indiana. It can
Right?
change on a dime.
And it kept pushing. I don't know if we can blame the smoke and fire debris that's coming from Canada that pushed I don't know, because I thought it was supposed to rain Thursday and be done. And
Canadians are
Nice
too
thing,
nice.
but-
I can't blame them for anything. I would feel bad, you know?
sure.
Yeah. But let's talk about, changing on a dime, talking about dimes. Let's talk about the savings at Robert Miller & Son
Right.
Furniture right now. Starting in May, which we're here, Robert Miller & Son is offering unbeatable savings. Oh, wait, this is June.
June. I was
Oh,
gonna
my
say.
gosh.
So starting in May and probably carrying over into June, maybe.
I don't have the new ad read in front of me, but I'm going to get it. I'm not going to give up. That's not
I bet
something.
if folks,
Holy
if
moly,
you go
it's
into Robert
June.
Miller and Son and say we heard the May deal, they'll still honor the May deal.
Maybe.
Before they.
What if the June
release
deal
the
is
June.
better?
Then
You know?
I bet.
Then I don't want the May deal. I want
Good
the
folks
June
there
deal.
would probably give folks the option.
We're going to find that out, but I'll be right back with the ad read for Mayor or Robert Miller & Son Furniture here in Kokomo. Let's talk about your weekend. What happened this weekend?
The first wave of graduation open houses. So congratulations to all of our graduates out there, both high school, college,
Absolutely.
trade school, everybody. It was a beautiful weekend for open houses. So hit a handful of those, probably hit more or was on my feet more than I needed to last Thursday. Not to get too personal, but I had the meniscus in my left knee cleaned out and was supposed to be elevating and icing and such, and I was more interested in being social and paid for it on Sunday. So, but no, it was a beautiful weekend. Good to get out and see friends and celebrate our graduates and just enjoy the weekend.
Love that. What's going on at City Hall this week?
City Hall this week. Well, one of the things that did happen over the weekend that I cited two things. The intersection down here at Jefferson and Washington
Drove on it today.
is now open. It was striped Saturday morning and opened by either noon or 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So kudos to the fine folks at E&B Paving for getting that done, as well as our street and wastewater department paving over the tracks there at Sycamore and Buckeye. A long time coming. Thanks to our friends at Kokomo Grain. They actually own that line of rail, and so allowing us to make some improvements on that. We're probably going to do the same thing at Walnut and Buckeye as well. Eventually work our way the stretch in between, but with Strawberry Festival coming up and a lot of other things, got to kind of plan that around what we're doing in other parts of the city as well. But no, so focusing on getting asphalt in. I know that with 931 finally being paved. So, folks, if there's any questions in regards to the speed bump still along 931, if you've been back out there, the southbound lanes are getting repaved now and should be completed yet this week, weather permitting, and they'll start on the opposite side as well. But all that's getting repaved, and so a lot of the asphalt's going to that. We need some to continue some of the projects that we want to do in and around the rain, and so working on that. We're also planning a citywide limb and vegetation cleanup. Typically, this is the concerted effort is in the fall when the leaves are down and leaves. But because a lot of folks are doing some cleaning on the properties and such, we're dedicating basically the month of June, starting next Monday, June 9th, and we're making one pass through the city to pick up limbs and vegetation and such, barring any major weather event that might occur after that. And then after that, depending on what folks need to do or can do, they can take those items to the Green Cycle Yard Waste Reclaim Center there on Dixon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we asked folks, here in the next couple of weeks to do whatever property cleanup they may feel need to be done and get things out to the curbs. We're going to make one pass through starting June 9th. Now, obviously, it's not going to all happen, that first week. I mean, so various areas of the city, we'll have a few more days or maybe a week or two to get things cleaned up and out before we get to your neighborhood. But as we come through, if things aren't out and we've already been passed, don't bring them to the curb. I mean, if you do, they'll sit there probably until the fall. But one pass through. So kudos to our street maintenance and refuse crews for working that in and around the paving schedule that they've got set, and we'll hammer that out. So there was the logistics for that. And just an hour ago, we were at the intersection of Elizabeth and Hoffer, right along Hoffer Street, a little west of Louis, at the site of the new Elwood housing project. It's mixed use, got luxury apartment style living, some retail at the lower level. That's we broke ground on, so we'll see more dirt moving and improvements there, and it'll be a good probably 11 months till that's completed. So a year from now, they'll be moving people in and hopefully serving up either sandwiches or drinks or something at the retail down below. So really excited, and kudos to our friends at Rebar that's bringing that project and development to Kokomo.
Love that. So a lot going on.
A lot going on. Great week to be mayor in Kokomo.
Absolutely. And guess what?
What?
I have the new ad read.
Oh, Robert Miller and Son Furniture for June.
Shout out Nick. Got this to me. Kick off your summer this June with huge savings at Robert Miller and Son. Take 25% off store-wide, plus enjoy an extra 5% off when you pay with cash.
There you
and
go.
to celebrate American craftsmanship, take an additional 5% off all furniture made in the USA.
Perfect.
Which honestly, they have a lot of there.
Yeah.
Whether that's upgrading your living room or your patio, now is the perfect time to refresh your home with quality American crafted furniture. Our knowledgeable team is here to help you find just what you need this summer.
Awesome.
Visit our Kokomo showroom today. These summer savings won't last long.
No,
there you go. Robert Miller and Son Furniture.
Month of June.
June ad read.
Perfect.
Not the May, the June. That's very important to clarify.
Excellent.
Gotcha. Okay.
How was your weekend?
I was good. We had a staff wedding, actually. Joe, who works here, he got married.
Yeah.
So it was good to get the staff. We were all like dressed up. We were looking pretty nice, I think. Brady, you agree? We look a little dapper out there.
Yeah, Brady was saying this was the first wedding that he went to. They didn't have to work. He got to sit back and enjoy, but was going through a little anxiety because he's used to.
Just felt like you should be doing
work in
something.
the room.
A little lazy. No, it was good. It was actually at the same place that Aaron and I got married. So it was kind of cool to go back there and see that venue. And we hadn't been really since our weddings. And they have updated a lot of it. It was great.
Awesome.
So it was really fun. Okay, let's get into the questions today. We've got a few pre-show questions, which I always appreciate, and then there's some people watching live, so we might get some questions from them too.
Hey, live viewers.
So let's jump into it. The first one is from Tony on Facebook. I would like to see more recycling sites throughout Kokomo. No junky furniture, etc. allowed. Also, what about live streaming Kokomo Park Band concerts on KGov 2? Tony on Facebook.
A couple good things. So back before curbside recycling, we did have satellite sites throughout the community where folks could load up and drop off their recycling. You can still do that at the Market Street site, which is on the north end of downtown, well, just north side of Kokomo in the downtown area. But the other scattered sites are on the outside. And I know he mentioned in there, no furniture, no large items. That's the unfortunate thing, is that those scattered sites, I mean, even at the ones outside of the city limits, because those are managed by our Howard County Recycling District. And unfortunately, I mean, even at the Market Street site, folks are ultimately going to bring trash. They're going to bring TVs, which, yes, they're recyclable, but TVs have to be taken out of the recycling district. They can't be in the totes or in recycling
Or OmniSource takes those, right,
Yep.
too?
Yep. And so, but ultimately there's trash and the scattered sites as well are typically on lots owned privately and around shopping areas. And because of the additional debris and such, it can become littered, and that was part of the impetus to consider going to curbside, because then it would be easier for folks and more contained in the totes being picked up every other week. But I know with budgetary constraints and such, there is we have tossed around the idea of going back to scattered sites and allowing folks just to have a couple totes of trash as opposed to curbside recycling. So that's something that we're tossing around as a cost savings measure for the city as well, and bringing back some scattered sites and working with a contractor or service provider for that. So don't know yet. It's something that's in process or in discussion at this time, but not sure where we'll end up. But again, if we went to scattered sites, we would try to do a better job of making those more controlled and monitored as best you can. But ultimately, people are going to dump trash.
They treat it as just a dump. Yeah. Which honestly, like even curbside, we have issues with that too, right?
Yeah.
People put absolutely not recyclable things in the recycling tote, and it's like a really depressing number of
it compromises the
how
load,
much like that we put in recycling bins actually get recycled because it's compromised. So that's on us, folks.
So
we need to be better
thoughts.
on that. Yeah.
Tossing it around.
Next question is from Francis on Facebook. Can we get some more conservation projects going in Kokomo? I just moved back from Gary after 3 years of working in nature preserves there, and it makes me sad that there's not anything similar down here in Kokomo.
We have a few areas that we've gone from, taken some pocket park areas or other areas and tried to do more preserve type of features. We're looking at doing the same thing at Jackson Morrow. If he's got ideas, he or she, with it being Francis, so I apologize for that. But if Francis has some ideas to share, or by all means, contact the Parks Department to see, because I know there are folks within the Parks Department that would love initiatives like that. There's just usually not ideas surrounding or a lot of community support with that, because sometimes those preserve or conservation type of areas do have overgrown, natural grasses and plants and small wildlife or insects. I mean, just nature, and so. Not always the most popular, but we could sure use some ideas on identifying that and maybe planning for that. So if they got ideas, Parks Department would be great.
Next question is from Lacey on Facebook. Have we discussed the safety concerns for walkers and bike riders crossing through Jefferson and Berkeley? The intersection does not have crosswalks and desperately needs pedestrian signals. Lacey on Facebook.
Jefferson and Berkeley. Berkeley. So I'm trying to think. So not necessarily the trail. I mean, so Jefferson and Berkeley. So just that intersection having
right near Forest Park, basically.
So having protected
it's
crosswalks
a five-way
and such.
too. Remember that it's
Right.
got that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it looks.
Yeah. If there's not,
it doesn't look like there is actually.
Yeah. So if there's not,
I don't know how old this photo is. I'm on Google Maps, but I don't see any pedestrian no walk signs in there.
Yeah, so maybe
there's lines, but there's no signals.
Because I know just a little further north is Lafayette Park School, and obviously further west is Wallace, and so there may be a little bit of foot traffic. So we'll definitely look into that, because I know when folks ask for either signage or consideration for a four-way stop or speed limit change or something, we do traffic studies. So maybe we can do a pedestrian traffic study at that intersection to see what the foot traffic is, and look at possibly adding some crosswalk signaling that could then allow for safer, protected pedestrian traffic through the intersection. So
Sure.
good deal. Yeah.
Next question is from Will on Facebook. Why does it take months to repave 931? I've seen highways built faster than this city project. Well, can I take this one?
You can.
Okay. Will, it's not a city project. And I think I'm looking, and you guys Will got very well informed of this in the comments. Multiple people said that is a state road. That is an Indiana Department of Transportation project, not a city project. Did we ever find out like what the project was for as a whole?
I think just as NDOT looks at the inventory of their assets, so to speak, and see where improvements are made, realizing that that 931 hadn't received any real attention. I mean, there's been a couple bridges that have received some underdecking work and remodel or renovating, rejuvenating, not renovating, but rejuvenating, that they then saw this in their rotation that 931 needed a little bit of love, which also I guess saw them remove the guardrails too. I mean, to make it one a little more aesthetic, and then realizing that the majority of the heavy truck traffic was moved over, to 31. So I think it was just luck of the draw that as the state looks at roads within their, again, inventory of roadways, that 931 was next on the list to receive some love, and especially with a lot that's going on, in Kokomo with the battery plant up north, and just mentioned, housing and other development and,
Sure.
and other investment along 931. So why it's taking them longer, again, just as I mentioned, with them working on roads throughout the state and the availability of asphalt. I mean, we're trying to do more as well. And so it's the availability of workers, resources, materials, and Mother Nature for the weather. So, and traffic, I mean, they might have hesitated. And it's taken them a little longer as well. It wasn't just a simple mill and repave, because they were doing that underdecking work that everybody we're lovingly calling the speed bumps, or the undersurface monitoring for toll collections.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if you got a question about road construction, you need to report a pothole or get updates on traffic conditions on state-ran roads, the first stop is NDOT customer service. Whether it's concern or request or just some information you need, they're there to help. Call us toll free at 855-NDOT4U. That's 855-463-6848. Or you can go online at any time at NDOT4U to report an issue or get the information you need. NDOT customer service, your road to answers. Thank you, ChatGPT, for just literally in seconds I wrote a radio ad for NDOT.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so there you go. Will, you can
on.
call them and they can help you out with any questions on why it takes so long to do the road work on that road. Next question is from Beth on Facebook. Hey. Can something be done to the railroad tracks on Vail? See, this one's not on NDOT, I don't think.
No, this would be so the.
You want me to write a radio commercial for you too?
Yeah. Right. The railroad tracks on Vail. That may be one that we're getting to, but I'm trying to think where she may be talking. But regardless of where it is, I mean, the rail lines, very few are owned by the city. And so any improvement work that needs to be done along the rails, whether it's through intersections or crossings on streets, or even behind neighborhoods and such along those lines, we need permission from the railroad companies that own those particular lines. And unfortunately, they don't give every line of railroad through the city of Kokomo. I think the entire inventory is owned by 4 or 5 different railroad companies, and so trying to navigate that. But the ones at Vail, I'm trying to think of where those would be, but we'll try to identify them, and if it's something that we can patch, because we can kind of fill in around the patch, but I know there's one, the ones are at on Boulevard out there by Stellhorn that used to be King of Clubs and such out west, have gotten just beyond terrible, and we're getting close to getting permission from the railroad company, hopefully to remove the tracks. I mean, it's not necessarily an abandoned line, it's an inactive line that if they would allow us to move those, because that would be ideal to remove the rails and then pave over it as opposed to paving over it with the rails there, which we may end up doing. But I know we were just talking about that this afternoon, that areas that need attention, we get to a certain point that the railroad, if they would allow us to remove the rails, if it's an inactive line, to then pave over it, we can, or hopefully just sell us that short line to be able to do something. So it's unfortunately a bunch of legalese that keeps us from doing what we really want to or need to do at a lot of those intersections, but we'll look into that one.
What percentage of City Hall conversations have to do with the railroad?
Not very many. I mean, it comes
I'd
up.
bring them up a lot if I were you.
It has those last few weeks. I mean, because we have had a lot of emails recently on specifically that railroad crossing on Boulevard, but then also.
I mean, the one downtown gets talked about a lot. They got fixed, over the week. Well, got patched. Is that the right word?
Well, no, I mean they milled up around it and paved up to the rail itself. But I know there's a handful between downtown and up around Morgan or so that we thought that the city was still maintaining or needing to maintain, and so we're kind of working towards maybe buying those short sections. So one of those could be the one of the Vale crossings, but. So it's ironically lately there's been a lot more talk about railroads and crossings these last couple months than there typically has been.
Gotcha. Next question is from Melissa on Facebook.
Hey.
When are the sidewalks from the 1950s that are level with the road scheduled to be made safe for pedestrians?
The sidewalks level with the roads from the 1950s.
I don't know if that's a...
I mean, it may be wherever those are. If and when we do improvements to that particular street, we would then add curbing to that sidewalk. But not quite sure where she's talking. But I know that there are some areas that it may even still be the brick sidewalks and such, but if she wants to email the specific location, we're looking to see what the possibility could be with that. Just send it to mayor@cityofkokomo.org, and we can take a look and see what, if anything, can be done. Because I know there would probably need to be some concrete curbing done in that particular area as well, depending on the condition of the sidewalk or ownership of the sidewalk or location of the area.
Got it. Okay. Next question is from, Lisa on Facebook.
Hey.
How about Berkeley from Park to Boulevard? That road is horrible. It's real nice in front of the school, but it's after that. I'll let you fill in the blank there. You have people in the other lane trying to miss holes.
So what stretch?
Berkeley from Park, or no, how about Berkeley from Park to Boulevard?
Berkeley from Park to Boulevard. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to check. I don't know that that's on our Berkeley from Park to Boulevard.
Trying to map
and
this
maybe
out.
That's because I know where Park hits. I mean, and from Deffenbaugh, if Park.
She says it goes in front of a school. I'm curious.
Yeah, because
What school she's talking?
I mean, Park is down by the country club around Boulevard.
Correct.
But then further north, Berkeley. I mean, it's from Deffenbaugh.
School could she be talking? Boulevard.
And maybe she, because I know Park comes out and it hits Deffenbaugh, and you turn east and then catch Park up a little further east by Highland Park, but then going up by. But yeah, it's probably that stretch of Berkeley that runs past the soccer fields and such. I mean, before you get to Boulevard School and the high school and such. So, yeah, we'll look and see if we can Band-Aid those. I don't think it's on the repaving schedule. I know it's not on the repaving schedule this year. We look to see possibly next year. I know some of those sections are concrete, and that can be an issue. That may be further south. But we can definitely look at that stretch of Berkeley approaching Boulevard.
Got it. Okay. Next question is from Lori on Facebook. The park off of Carter Steele, May Park? The park off of Carter, Steele Maya Park. I don't know.
Okay.
Needs restrooms for the public. There are a lot of people who go to the dog park and playground.
Okay, it may be Moore Park.
Okay, typo.
Carter, when it gets right there where it traces. So that's true with that dog park there. I'm trying to think there. I don't even know if there. I think there's only one porta pot up against the City Parks building there along the trail at Moore Park. But as we look at improvements throughout our whole park network, that's definitely something that we can consider. A lot of it comes down to park usage as well as resources available. So definitely something we can put on the wish list to consider if foot traffic there, especially with the dog park there, has increased or warrants it.
Gotcha. Sorry, getting a live chat question there.
Sorry.
Next is from Kelly on Facebook. Any chance of more concerts or free concerts at Foster Park? They were just about every weekend. They don't always need to be big names. I would like to see local area bands just trying to get their music and name out there. Yeah. Yes, that's starting soon.
Yes, that's starting soon, and not all of them will be at down at Foster Park. I know the larger ones are at Foster Park, and that's part of the summer concert series. But just under the bridge at Washington and back behind Station 1 and by the Kokomo bike share program is the Riverwalk concert venue. It's a small little area, and there's when there's something not going on in Foster Park, typically there's a Riverwalk concert down there. It's smaller venue, it's more intimate. They're usually flipping burgers as they're serving beers. So there's plenty of music. I know it seemed like there was a lot in years past. Really, I think with this summer concert series, there may have just only been 2 additional ones that were down there that may not be part of this year. Because I know the Carver Summer Celebration, that was usually one of them, but the Carver Summer Celebration is moving up to the square in Kokomo on the 21st of June. To also commemorate Juneteenth holiday. So that'll be on the square where it used to be down in Foster Park, and I believe the Showmobile will be there, so there will be music, whether it's DJ or maybe a band. And the other one was the Kokomo Symphony. We partnered with them to do a fundraiser for them. I know that's not happening this year as well, so the others will be available, and all that information is out. But outside of those, as I mentioned, being in the park in Foster, you definitely have the smaller, more intimate, and availability of music there at the Riverwalk concert series.
And I did just put the link in the chat for the summer concert series lineup, which, guys, I'm excited about this one. Sounds like some really good. And I've been listening a little bit to the people that I wasn't for sure, I didn't know extremely well. And the Andy Frasco, I don't know how to say his last name, super good. Awesome. Concerts are going to be great down at Foster Park this year. Love that.
They take money. I mean, I know it's like, we'd rather have local bands and come in. And anybody, I mean, it doesn't have to be, the city. If I know that Rum Academy, it may still, have theirs. I know that the firefighters, the Jeep Jam, they're planning their week. I mean, if an organization or if a local band, wants to have, a concert down in Foster Park on the pavilion, and there's not anything going on that weekend, they can have a couple bands,
Sure.
line up and reserve the pavilion, and organizations can do that and provide that to folks as well. We just, with what we budget, we want to, make it worth everyone's while. And, and outside of those, you still got the Haynes Apperson, and there's 3 nights of great music, 4th of July weekend as well. So, I think, even though there's not more opportunities, other communities that have concerts and such in the summertime charge admission. I mean, so to get this quality of entertainment, not just at Foster Park on the Pavilion, but down in the Riverwalk, which are more local and smaller, lesser known, but up and coming bands that Kyle Gibson brings in, great opportunities.
For sure. Yeah. Next question is from Melissa. First of all, thanks for all the time and energy you put into the great city of First. Heart
pleasure.
emojis.
My pleasure.
Just curious, though. Is Chick-fil-A coming to Kokomo, yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Holy moly.
Holy moly. Yes, it is. And everything was done and approved through the Planning Commission. They were just ironing out issues with the property owner, because, again, Chick-fil-A didn't buy the ground upon which they will develop. They're leasing that, and so working with the property owner. But it's our understanding they have all that squared away and set and should be breaking ground here in the next couple weeks.
Man, if this goes well, we might finally get that second stoplight. First question from the live chat is from Cassandra.
Hey.
Please let me know that is the areas of State Road US 35 and old US 31, now 931, housing area going to be rezoned since the land behind us has been rezoned from agricultural to H1 zoning. Let me say that again.
I don't know.
Please let me know
the area
if the area of State Road US 35 and old US 31, now 931, housing area is going to be rezoned since the land behind us has been rezoned from AG to H1 zoning.
That I don't know. I know that a few years ago, there was a developer interested in looking at housing up in that area, but we've not had any conversation with them, and that may be right along the Howard-Miami County line, because if you're saying the property just past that has gone from AG to H1, I know,
which I'm guessing is agricultural to
I would assume housing one, but H is not a zoning classification in Howard County or the city of Kokomo. And I know that area is outside of the city limits anyhow, so that'd be a question for the county. But I believe that the area that was just rezoned was probably across the county line in Miami County. Not sure. But yeah, with that being outside of the city limits, I'm sorry that I don't know.
Okay, gotcha. And then the only other live comment today was from Aaron Glunt. He says, Chick-fil-A, just tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. So are there any timelines or anything like that?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay.
I mean, so like I said, it was just just last week or so that we somebody had been asking about it, and they were told that that whatever they were working through with the property owner had been finalized or settled, and that they would be breaking ground here in the next couple weeks.
And Cassandra, she is still watching. She said AG2 HI, not H1.
Oh, heavy industry.
High industry.
Okay.
That's what she was saying. All right, so let me read through that again with that in mind. Please let me know if the area of State Road US 35 and old US 31, now 931, housing area is going to be rezoned since the land behind us has been rezoned from agricultural to high industry zoning.
Okay.
Still don't know.
So if behind them is heavy industrial, their properties or the properties that may be now currently zoned residential, where she may be talking about would only.
Well, she said we are before
rezoned.
Cassville is where she's at. Okay. So it's pretty far out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would only be if they're selling or desiring to sell to industrial. I mean, they can't be forced to rezone their property with everything getting rezoned around them. That's something that if they have a homestead there and right behind them, it got rezoned from agriculture to heavy industrial, if they see their property being marketable or something, they may be approached to sell it. And at that point, as part of the sale or a condition of the sale, could be a successful rezoning to a different classification, but they can't be forced to rezone just because things are happening around them.
Yeah, gotcha. If anything, that might create massive value in that
Right.
land. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, those are the questions we had. Thank you for everybody in the live chat. Lori, I see your comments, getting excited about the concerts and things like that going on this summer. So thank you for all that engagement on the live chat. Thank you for the pre-show questions, as always. If you do have a question for next week's show, leave it in the chat here, or we do post out things on Mondays, every Monday morning, to get those pre-show questions from you. So if you have questions for next week, let us know. Mr. Mayor, do you have a dad joke for us?
Yeah, so my mom bought a computer over the weekend, and she's not very tech savvy as well, at all.
Is this a dad joke about your mom?
It might be.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, she's a good sport. Okay. But no, so she got confused because, I mean, she called and asked for a strong password or whatever, and she said that her password was Snow White, Doc, Happy, Dopey, Sleepy. I mean, the seven dwarfs in Indianapolis. So Snow White, the seven dwarfs, I mean, by name, and Indianapolis. And I went,
it's the character limit for that password.
As she said it called for 8 characters in a capital.
It's a technology joke, folks. That's a tech joke. It's high tech. That joke. 8 characters and
a capital
Indianapolis. There you have it. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. Partner with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. Like I said, have any questions for next week's show? Leave it down in the chat below, or you know how to get a hold of us. You can write us to here on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on our website, thekokomopost.com. I think we're on TikTok too, so that's cool.
All over.
Or you can always email us at Bree, BREE, at thekokomopost.com.
Excellent.
We'll see you next week, Kokomo. Have a good week.
Love you, Mom. See you,
Strawberry
Kokomo.
Fest this Friday. Let's go.